Hello. Welcome to my channel. And I suppose you're here because you want to know how to cook some spinach stew. So let's get cracking. Now, I just wanted to quickly say that in one of my cooking videos, there was a comment that was left, which I call Enquiries. Enquiries in Tree means stupid, nonsense. It was just a silly little comment of just one person actually, but it did rub me up the wrong way, saying that I don't wash my hands before I cook. Obviously, I do wash my hands. I just edit that bit out because that bit is not necessary. So comments like that are not wanted here. Thank you. So here's what you're going to need. 2 packets of peppered mackerel. Well, it doesn't have to be peppered, but I'm using peppered. My mum always used to buy a whole fresh mackerel and smoke it and put the mackerel in her stew that way. But this is so much easier. 5 large tomatoes, 4 largish onions. I'm using some fresh baby spinach. You can use, I've seen people use frozen spinach, but I much prefer to use fresh. So that's 2 large bags. Nutmeg, which is essential, I think. 2 Scotch bonnets, 2 shrimp cubes, 8 eggs, palm oil. This is called Zomi, and it has a lovely nutty taste. But if you didn't want to use this, you could use just normal sunflower oil, olive oil, any oil of your choice. But this gives it a nice flavour. And last of all, I've got a couple of these fishes. Kobi or tilapia. I think the type of fish that it is snapper. And it is snapper that has been heavily salted and dried out to preserve it. But this gives the stew a really nice flavour and aroma. It adds salt to it as well. And I just love putting it in my spinach stew. It is an acquired taste. It is quite hard and rigid. So I'm just going to soak that for about an hour, and while that's soaking, gonna prepare all my vegetables. prepped everything. I'm gonna pour in some Zomi oil just to cover the base of the pan. I just love the orange color of Zomi, and it just smells so nutty and beautiful. Now, I will say this is probably the most unhealthiest part of this meal. I don't think palm oil is the healthiest of oils to use, but the rest of the dish is full of nutrients. Lots of yummy things going on here. Lots of iron in the spinach, eggs, lots of protein. The oily fish, which has a lot of omega-3, particularly mackerel. And then your onions, and then your tomatoes. So full of goodness, to be honest. I wish I could give you more info on what nutrient is in what, but I'm not that good. So once the oil is hot enough, I'm going to just test it with some water, a little splash of water. Yep, it is ready. I'm gonna add in the onions. Now I'm just gonna fry the onions for about 4 to 5 minutes. Now 5 minutes later, my onions are softening. Oh, it smells amazing so far. And now I'm gonna add in my Kobi. And I'm gonna fry the Kobi in here for probably about 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm gonna cook it on one side and then flip it over. So it does have quite a strong smell, and we're having a really, really hot summer here in the UK. So I've had to open the doors, and in order to keep the flies out, because they will be attracted to the strong smell of the Kobi. I don't know if you can see. I'm just burning like a citronella incense stick to keep the bugs at bay, to keep them from coming in. And I've got this ribbony, tassely curtain as well. And look, I've got some frankincense oil burning here as well. And I thought that might be a good idea to deter the insects from coming my way. Personally, there's just nothing worse than a big, massive blue bottle. I don't know if you get them in the States. You must do, but they're these really big flies that are kind of tinted green and blue, and they just drive me nuts. Like, as soon as they get the whiff of cooking, of any kind of cooking, if there's raw meat out, fish out, they just come in. So far my trick is working. I haven't had any bugs in here yet. And this Kobi is just going to infuse the oil, which already tastes really nice anyway, but this Kobi is going to infuse the oil with that unique fishy taste. And it's that taste that kind of gives this spinach stew its lovely traditional taste. Very aromatic smells going on here. Okay, so that's coming along nicely. And now I'm going to put in the tomato and Scotch bonnet mix. I don't know if I mentioned before, but the reason I mix it with tomato is just the Scotch bonnets on its own kind of get stuck to the cup, so I just blend it with tomato to loosen it up, so it's easier to pour out. Oh god, that smells spicy. Ooh, I'm gonna start sneezing in a minute. Oh, look at the colour, I just love the colour. Now I'm gonna add in my tomatoes. Ah! Oh my god, the first blue bottle Look at that, the little bastard. Can you see it? Get out. Tomatoes. Mix it all up. Make sure you keep stirring around the bottom so you don't get any burnt bits. You don't want anything catching at the bottom. And I've just turned the heat up a bit more so it can have a good fry. So don't forget to taste everything as you've gone along. I've just tasted this tomatoey bit, and it tastes to me like it needs a little bit of salt, but you know, everybody's taste buds are different. So as you know, the Kobi is a bit salty already, but we've soaked some of the salt off. So taste it at this stage to see if you need some more salt. The mackerel also has quite a bit of salt in it because it's been smoked and it's salty. So you know, you can leave. These are a little bit salty. The shrimp cubes, they're a bit salty, so you could leave it out. But I'm gonna add those in now because it's not salty enough for me. I might just add one for now, and then I can always add the second one in later on if I choose to. But yeah, it's very important to keep tasting because you don't want it to be over salty. I've done that before. I never used to taste anything, and yeah, it does ruin the dish. So I'll stir that in. Isn't this colour amazing? It's just a beautiful red colour. But my mouth is actually burning me a bit because I've just tasted it for the salt, but there's 2 Scotch bonnets in there. But it should all balance out once the other ingredients are in. Now I'm gonna add in a bit of nutmeg. So we got nutmeg in the egg mixture to flavour the egg from within, but I'm also going to add some in the tomato base, and I'm adding in, I suppose that was like a full teaspoon of nutmeg. The mackerel, so in that goes. And I don't want to over stir the mackerel because it's gonna, as it's cooking, the mackerel's gonna get soft and it's gonna start to break up, and I don't want it to break up too much. I want like larger pieces of mackerel in there. So I'm just going to leave this to simmer for about 10 minutes, and then I'll add in the spinach. Now, you know the old character Popeye, he loved his spinach, didn't he? It looks like a heck of a lot of spinach, but for those of you that know the nature of spinach, it will wilt. It will shrink and get smaller. Right, once the spinach has all reduced, as you can see it's wilted, I've just gone ahead and poured the egg in. Sorry, I forgot to film that bit. I've just poured all of the egg in, and I'm just leaving it on the top to cook because I want the egg to be in clusters. So I'm not going to stir it from here on. No stirring. You can do it if you like. It's just my personal preference. I like to see the larger pieces of egg just floating it around in the stew. So if you like, yeah, mix it all up and you'll just have smaller pieces of egg. So I'm going to cover this and leave it to simmer for about 10 minutes. And hey, voila! This is your lovely spinach, egg and mackerel stew. Well, Ghanaian as well, might I add. And this is really nice to eat with just some plain boiled rice or some jollof rice if you fancy it, or just some, you know, plantain or yam or some cocoa yam. Oh, God. Okay, so bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
So yes, our Bangladeshi friend is going to try some. It's actually called ampisier, by the way, so which just means it's just plantain with yam and stew. Just one of the many. Ampisier.
Which part am I going to try first? This part?
Well, like that's salted fish.
Okay.
But it's
what's the combo? Am I meant to layer up the banana with the...
You can eat it however you like. I mean...
The plantain, sorry.
Yeah, and we usually just use one hand. We try not to use two.
Oh, yeah.
I've been telling Ashton that. Oh, God. Look at those arms. Wow, sorry, I digress. Back to the meal.
Back to the meal. Right, let's get some bones out of it.
And that face.
And that face, I know. Fahim is such a snack, isn't he?
Right.
Look at a snack.
A snack.
No, I won't film anymore. I'm putting you under pressure.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
He enjoyed the attention.
Well, I do now.
Or you can use a knife and fork if you like.
I eat with my hands at home. So
Oh, you do?
easy, yeah.
Be careful of the bones. There are so many bones.
Yeah, I took out the ones that I could. Alright, here we
Here
go.
it goes.
It's decent. It's got quite a few flavours in there.
It has. There are a lot of flavours in there.
Going around.
I mean, that saltfish, when we cook it, in Ghana we do eat it, but some people take it out because it's just to flavour the oil with. But it's,
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Right.
But try not to get a bone under your nail because it's very bony.
This is exactly how bungler fish is like. And my dad and my mum used to sift it for me. They'd literally just be there breaking up the fish and just pulling out all the...
Yeah, that's what my mum used to do for me.
So I'm pretty used to it now. Tasty.